Celtics for the finals debate. What?
What's going on, nation? We got a good one tonight. Let's get it. Salute Raider Nation. Thank you guys for tuning in. I know it is a late show. We are starting pretty late. I got in just now. I got home, worked late. But I got my primos, Nate, and we got our special guest, our primo, the Chipster, joining us. He joined us last year talking about the draft, talking about the offseason, and we are here in the offseason again. So he is joining us. Raider Nate, my guy, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
What's good, bro? What's good? Feeling calm, cool, and collective. This offseason is gonna be great. Screw the Chiefs, and let's go. I'm ready.
Yeah, the Chipster, my guy. It's been a while since we have seen you, since we talked to you. How's the season been? How's the off season been? And how you been?
I've been great. The season, we had some glimpses of hope at the end of the season, so we got good things looking forward this off season and next season for sure.
Yeah, I like that. We're gonna dive in to start it off, you guys. Please hit that subscribe button. We are 9 subscribers away from 450 subscribers. So please share the link around. Get as many Raider fans in today's show. It's going to be a good one. Like I said, decisions. What will Mark Davis do? Salute to Raider Scorpio for pulling up. He said, "What's up, Primos?" Salute Raider Nation. Salute to you, Raider Scorpio. But yes, you guys, let's get into it. The head coaching position. Now, salute to Sean Johnson. He sent me some great information. This is the NFL rulebook in regards to the head coaches. Prior to the conclusion of the regular season, clubs may conduct in-person or virtual interviews with internal candidates or candidates not employed by an NFL club. Beginning on the day after the conclusion of the regular season, which was January 8th, 2 days ago, head coaches, clubs with an open head coaching position may begin to request interviews with candidates of another club on Monday, January 8th. Interviews with employees of other clubs must be conducted virtually prior to the conclusion of divisional playoff games on Sunday, January 21st. Interviews are prohibited with employees of other clubs that did not make the postseason until the third day following the employer club's Week 18 game. If the employer club has a wild card bye, virtual interviews may begin 3 days after the Week 18 game, which is January 9th or 10th. Raiders don't fall into that category, of course, because we're out of the playoffs. To continue that, beginning Monday, January 22nd, clubs may conduct in-person interviews or virtual interviews with candidates who are employed by other NFL clubs whose season has concluded. Clubs are prohibited from conducting initial interviews with candidates who are employed by clubs participating in the conference championship games until the conclusion of the employer's club's season. Second interviews are prohibited until Monday, January 29th. A candidate's employer club is prohibited from voluntarily granting such permission. Beginning Monday, January 29th through Sunday, February 4th, the bye week between conference championship games and the Super Bowl, second interviews, either in person or virtual, are permitted with head coach candidates employed by clubs that will participate in said Super Bowl. Prior notification must be provided to the employer club. And beginning Sunday, February 4th, contact with head coach candidates participating in the Super Bowl is prohibited until Monday, February 12th. A lot of information, you guys, that I'm giving you in regards to the head coaching rules. With that being said, I don't think we're even going to possibly go that route because they're only going to go through interviews. This isn't talking about hiring head coaches. This is just the interviews. In regards to interviews, the interviews have already been set and rumored. I know Antonio Pierce is set possibly to have an interview with the Titans. It's not. I think the Titans are interested, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I think they're interested.
The Titans are interested in an interview with Antonio Pierce. The Chargers are interested in an interview with Patrick Graham. And the Giants are interested in an interview with Carmen Basillo, our offensive line coach, for the offensive line position. Mark Davis and the Raiders have gave the coaches and staffers that they would not be blocked from looking from other jobs. But earlier today, the Raiders did block Patrick Graham from getting a defensive coaching interview with let me check. I have so many notes, you guys. They blocked him. They blocked him earlier today from getting with it was for a defensive coordinator job. The team was not
No.
told. It was by Ian Rappaport. It said Raiders respected DC Patrick Graham received a request to interview for a defensive coordinator job, but Las Vegas blocked it. The Raiders likely will allow the new head coach a decision on inherited staff members. I want to talk about this first because Patrick Graham is getting a number of interviews lined up for him, and the Raiders have blocked this interview. I want to get your guys' thoughts because there's been, Antonio Pierce gets a lot of credit for the defensive performance. Patrick Graham doesn't really get a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot of credit, and I disagree with it. I think Patrick Graham does need to get a lot of credit, and he does get a lot of credit, but for Antonio Pierce, he does deserve that credit. But does this show how important Patrick Graham was an influence to the Raiders defense and just shows how well of a coach he is in the defensive? Raider Nate, you want to go first, brother?
I mean, man, like when they like block the enable, like the ability to interview like head coach, like with Graham, it just shows like I hope Mark Davis is beginning to like listen more to the fans and because we know a lot as well. Not only do they know, what I'm saying, what's going on back in the backstage, but
Yeah.
we're watching every single play and he does he does deserve that job he deserves everything right now
Yeah.
because Patrick Graham is Patrick Graham. He's
Oh,
like the star
he
of the
for
show
sure
right
does.
now. But what I said last time is like keep him like him as a head coach, you don't even know if he's gonna even do good.
Yeah.
Like people are not.
We said it, Nate. Some people are meant to be coordinators. I mean,
Yeah,
look at Josh McDaniels. He's a good offensive coordinator. Maybe we could even say he maybe was the greatest, but he did have Tom Brady as his quarterback. Him as the head coach, though, he couldn't be a head coach.
That's
But
what I'm saying.
coordinator, possibly. I mean, he took Mac Jones to the playoffs, and his offense was balling with the Patriots before coming to the Raiders. So who's to say Patrick Graham? He's just a great defensive coordinator. Maybe not a great head coach though.
Yeah, I mean, when you're good at something, just keep on doing that. Just don't switch up. Like stupid. Like that's what the A's do.
What about you, Chipster? What do you think? Like, does this just speak of how well Patrick Graham is as a coach in the NFL?
Yeah, this shows that this is a sign to Mark Davis too that he needs to appreciate what we have over here because a lot of our coaches are getting looked at. They're finally getting the respect that they deserve, and if he's not giving them the respect they deserve and he's taking too long to do that, people are gonna jump on him, and we might lose out on them. So.
Yeah, I want to acknowledge the chat real quick. Shout out to Thrill 2020. Said hello, guys. Higher AP. Salute to Super Omicron who says Antonio Pierce to the Titans.
Nice
yeah,
bar,
that is rumors. Patrick Graham to the Chargers. That is rumors too. Thrill says if they are blocking PG from the Chargers and Jacksonville, not from the Chargers, Thrill, they can't do that. So come to find out, the Raiders can block a interview if it's the same position. So if it's for defensive corner position, they could block that. But if it's to get a promotion, like head coaching position, the Raiders cannot block that interview. They are allowed to have that interview. Salute to Sean Johnson up in here. Anthony Estrada, who says, yo, salute to my primos. And I new primo. Welcome, my guy. No, and hell no. Patrick Graham and Antonio Pierce is staying here. Raider Scorpio says, please, Mark, don't mess up this time by not hiring the right coach. AP earned it. Super Omnicron says AP to the Giants as DC. Pete Carroll fired. Mike Vrabel fired. WTF. Like I said, there's a lot of head
There's
coaches
a lot, bro.
all around. Thrill says without AP, that defense doesn't play out. Super says Pierce up out of here if another coaching opportunity opens up. Raider Scorpio, yeah, man, he deserves the job. Sean Johnson says Antonio Pierce could be our Mike Tomlin. The potential is there. I don't think we saw this decision being this hard. Should have never came to this. And I want to ask you guys this. When Antonio Pierce first got named the interim head coach, we all were in this position where, okay, we don't know. The season's kind of a loss. We're 3-5. If it gets worse from here, we get a higher draft pick. We possibly go get a brand new head coach somewhere else, whether that's a Jim Harbaugh, whether that's somebody else, maybe somebody else in the building, but not Antonio Pierce. We did not expect the team to be playing the way they did. I'll start with you, Chipster. From the point before Antonio Pierce got hired, we've seen what we had with Josh McDaniels. Players are saying that it's not fun anymore. We've seen the frustration with Devontae Adams. You then see the way the team played after Antonio Pierce. Like, what made you, I would say, what made you, if you had to pick Antonio Pierce as the coach, what made you get sold on Antonio Pierce as the head coach?
What sold me on Antonio Pierce was just how that locker room was after that first win. You saw how Devontae was on the sideline. You saw how everybody was in the office. He brought the energy back into our locker room, and nobody really knew who Antonio Pierce was outside of being a player, our QB coach, and we haven't had that good QB play.
Linebacker.
Oh, linebacker.
Yeah.
Linebacker coach, and we didn't really have that good a linebacker play until we brought in Diablo and Spillane, and you saw how he used those guys. So he moved up.
We thought that was going to be the weakest link coming into the season.
For real.
Yeah.
Was the linebacker.
But he really brought our team from a more offensive-focused team to a really good defensive team and a solid offense too. And he just brought the energy that our players needed to our team. So,
what about you, Raider Nate? What sold you on Antonio Pierce throughout the season? Like, if you were to say right now, and we've heard both of us say it, Antonio Pierce is our guy for 2024. Well, what sells you on Antonio Pierce that he should be that guy in 2024?
The big difference that I noticed was right when he came in, Patrick Graham moved. I don't know how he, like, I don't know when the first game when he moved to the box. I don't know if it was
Wilson?
Patrick Graham.
Oh, Patrick Graham. Oh, we went. I don't even know. When did
I don't
he go to the
know
skybox?
if he was in the box before then or right when that changed.
I don't
But
even
what
know.
I was going towards was what I noticed was the ability for the other coaches to coach for themselves, and that's what McDaniels was basically preventing. Like, he was preventing from the whole team to actually play as, like, for their part. Like, he was playing like he was on the field, like he was calling the defensive plays, like he was, owning the stadium. Like, when homie got here, he immediately was like, we, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was that we guy. Like, he's such a we, and I love those people because they let everyone, no matter what position you are, no matter what you do, you have to do your job. I can't do it for you.
Yeah.
And like, that's what makes a great together type of franchise. Like, and I mean, he's a Raider fan, so he knows, you know what I'm saying? Like, he know how it goes, you know what I'm saying?
Well, without, we can't really have a head coach talk and a head coach debate without bringing in another report. Salute to LV Raiders for Raiders.scout. The Raiders are expected to heavily pursue current Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh to be their next head coach. If Harbaugh moves to the NFL with the Raiders, he's expected to try and bring current Michigan quarterback J.J. McCarthy with him, likely as a first-round pick. Now, we'll get into the quarterbacks probably in another live or later in the live, but we got to talk about Jim Harbaugh. I've said that Jim Harbaugh's he's a good head coach. I'm not crapping on the resume. I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I wouldn't even mind bringing him in. If he comes, great. Okay, I'm supporting the Raiders no matter what, no matter who is at the helm. But here's why it scares me. It scares me because he could never win the big game. Now, this past Monday, he won the big game. He won the national championship. But at the NFL level, he still could not win the big game. He was getting owned by the Seahawks. He lost in the Super Bowl. They didn't even run it at the goal line. No one knows why. They passed at the goal line 4 times. And again, not taking away his coaching ability. He's maybe even a great coach. But he's another big name. He's another coach that people are saying he's a winning head coach. He's a proven winner. He can develop a quarterback. He's a quarterback guru because he can develop quarterbacks. He has a strong running game. He can build a great defense. I hear that, and I'm not saying that that's wrong, but we've said that about past people, not even just head coaches, players. And what always happened when they came to the Raiders? They forgot either how to coach football or they forgot how to play football. We've always tried to go after the big name. We've always tried to go after the guru or the proven winner. That's what we said about Jimmy G. I know that's a player, but we said that about Jimmy G.
Jimmy G
get better quarterback play. Why? Because Jimmy G, all he does is win. All he knows about is winning. He's a proven winner. So I want to ask you guys, what is your thoughts on the Jim Harbaugh rumors, and how do you feel about the Raiders heavily going to pursue Jim Harbaugh as possibly the head coach in 2024? Chipster, we heard from Nate, but Chipster, we haven't really heard from you. Give us your thoughts. What is your thoughts on hearing the Jim Harbaugh rumors coming back to life again, but being more intensified this year?
Like you said, he hasn't been able to win in the big game, especially in the NFL. Like, he lost to his brother in the NFL, and he didn't run the ball for some reason. I feel like he was under pressure that game, and he couldn't really take the pressure. But in college, he just proved himself on Monday. So, and he started his career as the Raiders QB coach in 2002 in in that Super Bowl era against John Gruden. He helped Rich Gannon and all them. So we've seen a lot from him so far. He would be a great coach, but we'll have to take a big fine in that pay. And if he can't perform like we've seen before, because we've gotten big name coaches before, and like you said, they forgot how to coach. So
yeah,
that can always happen.
Nate, what about you, man? Me and you kind of killed the horse a little bit, and it's not like we dislike Jim Harbaugh. Like and you talked talked off camera like 2 years ago and was like, hey, we need to go get Jim Harbaugh. But again, that was 2 years ago. This year, it's a different time. But what does these rumblings of Jim Harbaugh that the Raiders are going to pursue Jim Harbaugh? What is your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I feel like I really hope it's just them just testing the waters, see how these interviews go. But the reason why I just don't, I would I would root for them if he's in that position. But I'm leaning to AP because like we said in the last one, I was like, if he comes, he's going to do something that I feel like we don't need, and that is a swipe out rebuild. Get rid of all the big names, get rid of all the key players, get our money up, and then I don't know,
draft picks,
just make it the Harbaugh team. But with AP, he's already got the whole locker room connected like a puzzle piece right now. We just need that last puzzle piece that we're trying to find, and in my opinion, we don't need that rebuild, that freaking nuke the team so we could just get better in the next 5 years. We don't need that, and that's why I'm just like, yeah, I'm good with AP, bro.
Yeah, I agree. I want to acknowledge the chat. Anthony says, I commented this while watching the national championship. If Harbaugh comes here, at least keep AP. Because if those players are going through a hard time or something, they already know there's someone. The problem with that, Anthony, is that if that does happen, that there's a hard time, then you're going to have a split in the locker room. You're going to have a split where players like, see, you shouldn't have brought in Harbaugh. You should have just gave the head coaching position to AP. That was kind of the same thing we were talking about between the Rich Bisaccia and the Josh McDaniels thing, is that you keep both of them there, it can create a divide in the locker room, and you don't want that. What do you guys think about that? What would you guys keep AP if Mark Davis was a hire Harbaugh? Would you guys be willing to keep AP as part of the coaching staff?
I mean,
But also, isn't that up to Harbaugh too?
yeah, that is up.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, we don't know. I mean, I wouldn't imagine him to just ruin the team. He's a great coach, and I do know, and I do believe that he does good things. But I mean, I don't. We don't know if Harbaugh likes AP yet. Like,
Yeah.
like it's something we don't know. You
What
feel
about
me?
you?
Like,
Do you think, because that is the question, what Harbaugh do? Because that's really out of Mark Davis's hands at that point. If Harbaugh wants to keep AP or not.
The problem with that is that um, AP would have to get a big raise because there's already teams trying to offer him much better jobs if he doesn't get the head coaching job here. So who knows if we'll get AP if we get Jim Harbaugh. AP might be a whole different team's coach or coordinator.
Might even take the staff with them. Take Patrick Graham with them. I wouldn't even say Bull Hardegree would really hurt us, but I would keep Bull Hardegree as a quarterback coach. And if he takes him with him, who knows what that does for Aiden O'Connell. And again, we'll get into the quarterbacks another time. But yeah, that I don't think that would necessarily work. I don't even know. Again, it would be in Harbaugh. If Harbaugh comes here, that's in Harbaugh's hands. That is not in Mark Davis's hands anymore. By AP staying here, that is not in Mark Davis's hands. Raider Scorpio says Mark did listen to the fans by firing McDaniels. Now Mark needs to hear us. The Raider Nation is saying keep AP and PG, and they literally are saying it. And I don't know if you guys caught it, but during the game on Sunday, they were chanting AP's name while in the game. Black Hole was cheering for who they wanted as the next head coach. Shout out to Thrill. Thrill says AP embodies what it is to be a Raider. The passion sold me. He also went on to say, I hope Harbaugh takes the Washington job to be close to his brother. And possibly. I know Harbaugh is getting looks not only from the Raiders, he's getting looks from the Chargers. I even seen that there was maybe a look from the Titans possibly. Raider Scorpio says AP got that winning energy. He looked like coach who still want to play and win and kicked ass. He looked like a Raider. And let me get more. I want to get down. Salute to Andre Banker. He says Mark needs to sell the team. AP has the respect from the players. And I'm not going to say Mark needs to sell the team.
wow.
I will only say this offseason is very, very important to Mark Davis's reputation because you already missed out on Rich Bisaccia. Now, given Rich Bisaccia, he's not doing a lot well with the Packers. The Packers, I believe there is a stat out there that they were the most penalized team in regards to the special teams units. They were the most penalized out of the special team units compared to all 32 NFL teams. So you possibly not the best option as a head coach, but I don't think Mark Davis needs to sell this team. No. In regards to this offseason, it is a very, very important offseason for Mark Davis as an owner to see what direction does he want to take the Raiders. Does he again want to go for the big name? Again, go for the guru, or does he go with the guy who I know a lot of people say he hasn't proven and he hasn't have no experience, but can we really say that? That's the thing. Can we really say that, you guys?
He's him.
I'll take it. Go ahead, Nate.
I mean, shoot. What I mean, he's had some flaws, and them some ups. But that season that he took over and said, "Well, It's my turn, guys. Bro did really good. We put up how many points? One, two, three, four. Oh yeah, 63 points. And what is that? A
Yeah,
Raiders
that
franchise
is a
record
Raiders franchise record.
by an interim head coach, a rookie QB, rookie tight end, I don't
Rookie
know,
offensive coordinator.
rookie offensive coordinator, a guy that just stepped in the box and just started going ham, another guy that just stepped in a box, and then we're just getting our home field advantage back. So like, man, I think he did pretty good. And also, everyone knows what I said last stream. He beat all three. He went 3-1. That's all I need, bro. He went 3-1. He beat all three divisional opponents, and that's what what I'm saying. Like he's himmy.
Yeah,
I
and I
feel
want
like
to
he
ask you.
proved.
I do want to, and I want to ask you the same question, Chipster, because that is what people are saying. He has no NFL head coach experience, and he hasn't proven anything. Jim Harbaugh is that proven winner. He's proven that he can win no matter where he goes. He with the Niners, he won with them. With the Michigan, he won with them. Can we really say that Antonio Pierce? Now comparing them both, yeah, Harbaugh's proven way more than Antonio Pierce, but in the 9 games that we've seen with Antonio Pierce, can we say he hasn't proven anything?
Antonio Pierce definitely looked a little shaky at the beginning. Like you saw him, they even showed it on TV and mentioned it one time. He was like, "Is he asking the coach?" Because he was asking the more experienced coaches, "Should I call a timeout? Should I not? Should I leave it?" But you've seen him like throughout this season. He's taken over the game and really taken into this role of the head coach, the man calling the shots for the team, and the teams really respected him for that because our team our QB, he stepped in. He wasn't even supposed to play this year, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Our coaches, like you said, are all brand new, and then we have this guy that just steps in and make the team almost be a playoff team. Should have been a playoff team, arguably, besides a pretty bad call and a little rocky performance from our team. But
Yeah,
yeah, he's proven himself for sure.
yeah,
Even though Jim Harbaugh is a good candidate, AP's proven himself to the fans and to all the players.
yeah. And Thurl says Harbaugh would try to be bigger than the Raiders. Maybe I don't want to say he will, and I don't want to even say he won't because we've seen big name head coaches come in and kind of treat it like that. It felt like that with McDaniels. It definitely felt like that. That I mean, he talked our way out of getting CJ Stroud, arguably the most ready NFL quarterback coming in to to last year's NFL draft and was on my draft board. That was the one quarterback I wanted, the only quarterback I wanted. I was okay with taking Will Levis, but knowing that Siegler wanted to get CJ Stroud and was just a trade away from making it happen, it upsets me that McDaniels did what he did. Andre Banker said,
McDummy.
kick Carr out of town, but we damn near scored 17 points a game. Everyone was hyped on our defense, but 100 million spent on the offense. Crazy. And I gotta disagree. I don't think a lot of people were hyped on our defense. Not even me. Not even like the like if we're talking about before the season, a lot of people were calling for this defense. I said 22 at best. I didn't have high hopes for this defense. To play like the way they did, I didn't think they were going to be top 10. Nate, on the other hand, salute to my primo Nate, had a bold prediction and said that our defense was going to be a top 15 defense. Like,
And
so
that was a stretch because I tried to like merge both of our bold predictions together. I originally thought that we were gonna be like top like around 8 to 10 or 8 to 12. So
yeah, hey, you hit it. But I think a lot of people was hype on the offense way more. Way more than the defense because the offense we were saying Jimmy G's coming in. We thought he was a better quarterback than Carr. Not even close. I think we did downgrade at the quarterback position. I think it was this. Was getting rid of Derek Carr the right decision? It was the right decision. Was their plan B or the replacement of Derek Carr the right decision? No, it wasn't. They got rid of Carr and they didn't have a plan after Carr. That's where they messed up. Is that you got rid of Carr, but you have no plan after Carr. your plan was again to put a Band-Aid on it. And I want to talk about the quarterback position, not now, but in another live, because again, there's fans out there that don't want to draft a quarterback, and I don't get why not. We always try to put a Band-Aid on it. Go get Tom Brady was their option. That's a Band-Aid because you're gonna end up having to draft a quarterback anyway.
That's
Go
a
get
very
Aaron
good
Rodgers.
Band-Aid, though.
Again, you're gonna have to go draft a quarterback anyway because he only is gonna give you 1 to 2 years.
That'll
Go
probably
get Gardner Minshew. Again, you're gonna have to draft a quarterback anyway, because that quarterback is not going to win you a Super Bowl. That's the goal here, guys, is to win a Super Bowl. You're not going to win a Super Bowl by getting scraps from another team. The reason you got rid of Carr is because he couldn't get you over the hump. He couldn't get you to the playoffs. You didn't think, okay, Derek Carr will win us a Super Bowl. You never thought that. So going in free agency, and it's like, hey, this guy will win us a Super Bowl. No, that is not going to happen. That's why hearing Ziegler wanted CJ Stroud, but McDaniels didn't, that bugs me, because CJ Stroud could have came here and we wouldn't even have to talk about quarterbacks, you guys. We could have gone into the 2024 offseason, talked about, hey, we need to rebuild, keep building this defense, keep building the offensive line, and CJ Stroud will be all right. We wouldn't even have to worry about a quarterback going into 2024. But imagine we're 13th overall and we got to make these decisions, trading up, maybe going to get free agency. We wouldn't even have to be here if we have CJ Stroud. But that's all I'm going to say about the quarterbacks. If you guys want to touch on the quarterbacks, let me know. Christian, you want to touch on the quarterback position real quick?
Yeah, we could touch on the quarterback position a little bit.
Okay, well let's finish the head coaching debate. Let me get more into these comments. Do we feel if there was never an AP, then it would be a slam dunk for Jim Harbaugh? I love this question for Jim Harbaugh. When he became the head coach of San Francisco, compare roster he added onto that roster. Sean Johnson is right. He didn't tear it down. He rebuilt, he restored and retooled that roster. He made it better. What do you got? Like, what's your opinions on that? If AP was never even in the conversation, is Jim Harbaugh a slam dunk?
100%. 100%. Jim Harbaugh, especially after the season that he's had, he'd easily be a slam dunk, but that's not the case. We found our guy, so he's not our slam dunk.
Yeah, what about you, Nate? What do you think? Is would Jim Harbaugh be the slam dunk, like, you got to go get him, Mark Davis, if AP was the situation never happened?
Yeah, if he wasn't there, then I mean, what has Jim Harbaugh not done? Has he not been a slam dunk so far? I mean, I feel like he's been a slam dunk wherever he's gone. So
it would go right back to 2 years ago, the conversation. Like, go get Jim Harbaugh.
yeah.
Hey,
Like that would be so.
And I agree with you guys. I think it would be a slam dunk because we all wanted him at one point in our lifetime, and it would basically be that situation that we don't have a head coach as the answer. The interim head coach wasn't the answer. Josh McDaniels wasn't the answer. Jim Harbaugh was the only guy that is out there as of right now. If we're minusing AP from it, Jim Harbaugh was the only guy that would be on my mind. Like, go get him. Go make it happen. Thrill says, worst case scenario, Bill Belichick comes here. And there is a report that the Raiders may bring him in for an interview. There is a report.
We don't want to, bro. We don't want to grab some handicap junkyard. Like, just send him to the. Oh no.
I like Mike Vrabel. I like.
But yeah, hey, I want to get in this. What about Mike Vrabel? I don't know what the Titans are doing. I really don't know what the Titans are doing. You just beat a Jacksonville Jaguars team who needed to beat you in order to get to the playoff. That didn't happen because you beat them. And necessarily, I don't think Mike Vrabel was the problem. Like, did they ever have a true another team that doesn't know how to draft a quarterback or doesn't know when it's time to draft a quarterback? You had Ryan Tannehill. After that 2021 season, I believe they drafted what's his name? Not Will Levis. They drafted the other guy.
The black.
There was another
Malik Willis.
Yeah, Malik Willis. Never gave him a shot. I was like, okay, they drafted Malik Willis. They're gonna have him sit for 1 year, and then they're gonna start him the following year. They draft another quarterback in Will Levis the following year. And it's like, or in I think 2 years after they drafted Will Levis, which shows me the GM doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Unless Mike Vrabel is the one calling the shots and drafting the guys he wants, which I don't think was the case with the Tennessee Titans. Which shows me the Titans are kind of like the Panthers. Y'all don't know what the hell y'all got going on. In regard to the GM position and the owner, the higher-ups, y'all don't have any clue what y'all are doing over there. So if AP is not an option and Jim Harbaugh's not an option, I wouldn't mind taking a flyer on Mike Vrabel. I don't think he's a bad coach.
Yeah, I don't think he's too bad either. Like I don't remember watching a game and then watching him make a bad call. I ain't gonna lie.
And
I
the thing
mean,
is, I like his aggressiveness. He was known for always going it like 4th and 1, he'll go for it. Even sometimes in his own territory. And the Titans were the number 1 seed at one point. Now they blew it against the Baltimore Ravens team. But he was coach of the year in 2021. But I want to actually, Nate, you gave your thoughts on Mike Vrabel. Chipster, what about you, man? Like, what do you think about bringing in Mike Vrabel?
I love Mike Vrabel. What they did to Mike Vrabel is they pretty much stripped his team and expected him to put out a playoff team every year, and he almost did for a couple of those years. And drafting Will Levis, he found his guy, and then they got rid of him. And I feel like if he comes here, like I was telling Ed earlier, he can make Josh Jacobs, if we keep him, into his version of Derrick Henry. He could use him like that because you saw what he did with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry was already good, but he turned Derrick Henry into a whole different monster. So, and you see Derrick Henry's out of Tennessee this year after Vrabel left. So you could tell that he was a guy that a lot of the players loved in that locker room.
Yeah, and Andre Baker, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. No plan B. Thrill said AOC was the second-rated rookie quarterback behind CJ Stroud, drafted quarterback, and let him compete. And that's what I've been okay with. I've been okay with letting Aiden compete for the starting job next season. I've said he is a backup quarterback, but I still want to give Aiden a shot to prove himself. Because like you said, Christian, he was never meant to be a star. Let's be honest. He was never meant to even see a snap this season. No. He was supposed to be developed behind Jimmy G. So I'm willing to give him that shot. Give him a full offseason to get a shot. But it's the lack of mobility for me. And we're seeing it week in and week out. He's not going to add that to his game. Can he add it to his game? Maybe. But I don't want to take a chance on a guy that, okay, we can go get a Jaden Daniels or Caleb Williams or a guy that we know brings mobility to the table, that knows, okay, I know like pressure's coming. I need to get the hell out of the pocket. I need to roll to my right or I need to roll to my left. If the play needs more time to develop, I'm going to make it more time to develop. AOC doesn't give you that. And week in and week out, we've seen he's not going to give you that. He's not going to roll out of the pocket. He's not going to take off for a first down. He's not going to let the play develop. He is a statue back there. And it's fitting that we have the Statue of Liberty in Las Vegas because it seems we got the Statue of Liberty on the field also. And again, people kill me because, he's a rookie. But I've said I want to see improvement. I'm not saying that I want to see wins because I didn't expect wins. Once we fired McDaniels, I was like, hey, the season's pretty much an evaluation at this point. We're evaluating players. AOC was the guy I evaluated him. And I was like, hey, can he improve? Can he step up his game? It's one of those where it's like, does Aiden need everything around him to be perfect? And then he'll take you to the next level.
I feel like
today's NFL, let's be honest, you can't do. Go ahead, Nate.
I feel like if he were to have a breakout season, he would probably be close to what's his name, Philip De Rivers. I mean, that's probably the most similar comparison I got for him.
Minus the kids, of course.
Yeah, Philip Rivers has way too many kids.
That's how you know he got money, though.
Yo,
that's how you know he got money.
I mean, bro, but I feel like, of how good Philip Rivers is. I mean, I'm not saying that he is going to be as good as Philip Rivers, but I'm just saying. I mean, I
That's
feel
like
like
his ceiling, is what you're saying.
yeah, yeah.
I still wouldn't even take that because I don't want a Philip Rivers.
Me neither.
But let's talk about. I think, yeah, we'll get back to the coaches, but let's talk about it for a little bit. The quarterback position, because that is a question mark. Chipster, give us your thoughts on Aiden. How did he perform throughout the season to you?
We had high hopes right when the preseason started. He was probably one of the best preseason quarterbacks out there, but he was a preseason guy. Nobody ever expected him to play. Even when Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt for a little bit, they put in Brian Hoyer over him, and we're like, okay, because Aiden O'Connell's a guy
And he's
nobody
not ready.
really knew a lot
That's what we're
of.
thinking.
Yeah, and he's not ready. They throw him in there. He looks solid, but like you said, he had no mobility. He made running look like it hurt sometimes whenever he ran. But he needs to develop more. He'll probably be a great backup and maybe a starter. Like he'll be a good starter to step in if a real quarterback got hurt. But I don't see a future with our team because he was holding us back. I feel like this year with like his mobility.
And a lot of people don't want to, and we're going based off what we're watching. It's like, it's not like we're saying this because we don't like the kid. We want to give the kid a shot. And week in and week out, I was like, I told Nate, I want to see Aiden improve from the game last week, whether it was a win or a loss, whether you had a good game or a bad game. There's always area for improvement. And yes, people are right. We're young. So the only quarterback we've seen really is Derek Carr. I still like I've seen another Derek Carr out there. No mobility. He can throw the football. He's accurate with the football, but the mobility hurts you in big moments. We won that Kansas City game, but that Kansas City game showed the reason why we needed to go get a quarterback in the future. And it's because Aiden had no mobility in that game, and it showed. There's moments where the field is opening up wide to the right or wide to the left, and it's like, man, imagine if you had a Justin Fields in that situation, a Patrick Mahomes, a Herbert, or anyone that would be mobile and take off. They're taking off in that situation. Even this pass against the Denver Broncos, there was another moment where I don't know if he took a sack or it was incomplete, but the whole right side of the field wide open, green grass. It was like and he could have picked up the first down. And it's like, that is the problem. Like, I want to ask you guys this. Do you guys think we have time to wait for AOC's development?
No. No. I feel like this team this year, we showed big flashes. We're going to be expected to be a playoff team with AP if we have AP going through. We're going to be expected to be a playoff team. We need to go out and get a big name like Jaden Daniels or Penix or somebody like that if we really want to take that step forward into that playoff team that we're capable of being.
What about you, Nate? Do we got time does the Raiders have time to wait for AOC's development?
Well, I certainly hope that he won't be starting next year, but he will be developing under our hopeful guy that is hopefully in the first round. But I do see, like, I want to see improvement next year. I want him to battle with our kid next year, though. Like I want him to go like toe to toe with this kid. I want to see him do good. And
I like that. Me too, Nate. I'm not disagreeing with you because iron sharpens iron, and I brought this up numerous times. Not to make this a car talk, but it makes sense. Derek Carr, when he had his MVP caliber season, 2016, the Raiders took the NFL by storm. Derek Carr was an MVP candidate. The Raiders drafted a quarterback that year in Connor Cook. Now, Connor Cook was, again, probably like an Aiden O'Connell, never to see a starting role. But who's to say that didn't light a fire under Derek Carr's seat? Like, are they drafting my replacement? Because he still is on a rookie contract. He didn't get paid yet. So it's like, are they drafting my replacement? Like, what's going on here? Because the year prior, Derek Carr was known as, okay, he'll put up good numbers, but he's not good in clutch moments. He always throws a pick at the worst time. And the following year, they draft a quarterback. And then that season, Derek Carr leads the Raiders to 5 game-winning drives that season. Like I said, MVP caliber season, 3,700 yards passing, 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. And he had a really, really great season. They paid him. They stopped drafting a quarterback, and he goes on the regression. So my thing is, could a quarterback bring the best out of AOC, but also bring in the best out of that rookie quarterback? Maybe. It's a big maybe, really. But I'm willing to take that chance. Because iron sharpens iron. We all play sports, iron sharpens iron. When you see your teammates balling out, it just makes you want to do better.
Yeah, I want to see them battle it out. I want to see both of them do well, and I want to see them back and forth, like shred teams apart, um, and make it hard for us at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Like, please, that would be awesome.
Let me get back into the chat. Sean Johnson says, if he goes with the big name, it better work. But I think Mark Davis been wanting Jim Harbaugh since 2014. I just hope if AP did fail us as Raider Nation, would be okay for once. Would we accept it? Yeah, I would. I like that question. Would we accept if 2024 is a lost season if AP comes back? Would we accept that? I wouldn't. I'm gonna go for. No. I wouldn't because the thing is, Sean, my Tipster touched on it. We got so many expectations. If AP comes back, you're expected as a playoff team because let's get into the defensive stats real quick with AP real quick. Salute to Sean Johnson for sending me it. AP, the defense with Antonio Pierce, 15.3 points per game allowed. That was first since week 9. 13 takeaways. That was tied for 6th. 24 sacks. That was tied for 5th. And 4 defensive touchdowns, which was first since week 9. And also, the Raiders were the least penalized team in the NFL, and even with Antonio Pierce by a landslide. So, no, he wouldn't get a pass for me, Sean. And I would even say with Harbaugh, too. Harbaugh wouldn't get a pass with me because this team has the flashes. They could be a playoff team next year. They just need a little bit of pieces. But if you don't make the playoffs in 2024, like I don't care who's the head coach. I'm not accepting it. I'm not accepting a lost season. I didn't even accept it with McDaniels. I gave him the benefit of the doubt, but it stung me. It was like how we go from 2021 to 10-7 to making the playoffs to 2022 6-11, missing the playoffs. That don't make sense. That is just Raider football at its finest of what we've been through for the past 20 plus years.
Because he's a bum.
And I don't want to see that again. I don't want to see that again. What about you guys? Would it be okay with you guys if 2024 was a lost season under AP?
I don't think nobody wants to lose.
No. Not saying they want us to lose. I'm just saying if it's a lost season, would you be like, okay, I give AP the benefit of the doubt, give him one more year, or would you be like me, like, okay, AP obviously couldn't figure it out?
No,
because we might need to bring somebody else in.
He finished in a positive record. He finished with a positive record. He went 5-4.
But we're talking about 2024, Nate.
I know.
In 2024,
that's his record though.
Season, and they missed the playoffs. Are you having some second questions about AP?
If we miss the playoffs, that would have to be like a CJ Stroud type of thing. But I mean, if we miss the playoffs, but if we finish, we have to finish in a positive record. We can't go under. We can't go back to being 6-11 in the playoffs. Then I'm like, all right, see you, bye. But
so you're saying if it was like 10-7, 11-6, and you missed the playoffs because of just seeding because of circumstances. Okay. What about you, Chipster?
Yeah, I agree with him. We have to have at least 10 or 11 wins for him to be like our guy. it unless something happens, like we have some unfortunate circumstances like injuries and stuff
That's
to our star players. He's got to be our guy. He's got to bring us to a playoff or at least 10, 11 wins this year.
Yeah,
which
and that's not
should
just
be
AP,
playoffs.
right? Chips, that's anybody. I mean, at least for me, that's anybody.
Yeah,
that we have.
anybody. Our team has way too much potential to be a middle of the pot in the league like we are this year.
Yes, bro. Like, and I've said that. Devontae Adams has even spoken about it. Like, there's too much talent on this team to be missing the playoffs. There's too much potential, and I agree with that. And I think that as a Raider fan, that's so frustrating because it's like we're there. Like, we just beat the defending champions in Arrowhead. Like, it shows the potential that we have, and for us to not be in the playoffs, it's just like make it make sense. And then Thurl has a good point. For the people that say Antonio Pierce didn't have experience, neither did John Madden. John Madden was a linebackers coach for the Raiders 2 years prior to becoming a head coach. And he was a head coach for a junior high school before going to the NFL. I wouldn't say it's just about leading men. It's about not only leading men, but having them believe in what you're preaching. And obviously that locker room believes what AP is preaching. Van City. Also, I'm glad Van City made it home safe. He was actually in Las Vegas during the game.
That's fine.
He went to go see the game. He had a great time, and he even said it was literally deafening of the Raider fans that were chanting for AP. He said, "Oh, if AP wasn't here, Harbaugh would 100% be the answer. AP is our guy. He has captured the hearts of the players, Raider Nation, and alumni." Yeah, did you guys see the post game speech he gave? Yeah, Charles Woodson there. He had Marcus Allen in there.
Yeah.
He also had a guy by the name of Jaden Daniels in that locker room.
Mm-hmm.
So
Jaden
Daniels was in that locker room. Sean says, but that just speaks in 9 games. AP changed his entire culture. Oh, and Pete Carroll's no longer the coach in Seattle. News broke today. But I've been hearing, Sean, that he still is going to be in Seattle. He's just not going to be a head coach. But he's going to be part of the Seahawks organization. Don't know how
Pete Carroll
work, but that's what I was hearing.
He said something about wanting to maybe take a head coaching role, though, because I don't even know what an advisor is.
Yeah, you're advising him like, hey, I'll just be the head coach. Like,
advising on how good this ice cream is.
Yeah, Thrill says base case. Hey, AP is hired by the Raiders. Old ass Belichick goes to the Chargers, and Harbaugh goes to the Commanders. Didn't he give you improvement and wins? If we're talking about AOC, he didn't give me improvement. And let's be honest, the wins came from our defense. Like, let's be honest there. Minus the Chargers game, because the Chargers game was he balled out. I gave him that, but that Chiefs win, that was our defense. The Broncos win, it was a little bit of him, but 2 touchdowns too. I expect that. That's average quarterback play. Broncos at that point, and there was times that they should have. Again, there was moments where he could have escaped the pocket. That's improvement to his game. But he showed me average quarterback play. Raiders do not need average quarterback play. But if we're talking about AP, AP showed me improvement and definitely the wins. Van City said, there are so many reasons you hire AP. Free agents will be lining up across the block to come here and play. There will be high-quality coaches that want to come here. And also, Hondo reported that there was a lot of high-name free agents, a lot of high-name coaches that would want to come here if AP is the coach. And Thrill says AOC would be more of a big Ben, a Ben Roethlisberger.
Dang, that thing got to be a big boy.
He's
then.
not
He gotta,
big.
He gotta grow up to be a big boy.
If Aiden was breaking stacks, then I could say
then it'll be a big Ben.
Bro, Big Ben was they called him Big Ben for a reason. It was hard to bring him down, even for being a pocket passer. And I agree. I think he should have been quarterback too. I do disagree with Brian Hoyer being the backup quarterback. I think AOC should have been quarterback too and learn with the clipboard. Let me see. I want to get more into this. To be fair, AOC got sacked 2 times. Slippery Mahomes got sacked 4 times. And he still didn't complete a pass during that game. He had 9 for 21, 62 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, and he got sacked 2 times. He does take care of the football, which I like, but that's only going to get you far. He's not matching taking care of the football with touchdowns. And that's my point with AO. Based on one victory against the Chiefs, it's about sustainability, people putting too much into swag. Swag is drafting well. Well, let's not just talk about the one victory against the Chiefs. He had 5 wins and 4 losses. But let's talk about the losses because I don't want to just make this about his wins. AP lost against a Vikings team that had 2 backup quarterbacks come in.
That defense was
and he
fire,
lost 3-0. I want to get your guys' thoughts on that game. Do you put AP at fault? Was he outcoached that game? Because a lot of people say he was because he didn't put in Jimmy G in that game. That he should have took Aiden out and he should have put Jimmy G in. Do you guys agree with that statement?
Yeah, he was definitely outcoached in that game. I was watching that game and I almost turned it off because of how terrible our quarterback play was. And I've seen the Vikings coach. The Vikings coach, he's established his players good in the locker room, but they were not a better team than us by a long shot. They did not. They haven't had the right QB situation since Kirk Cousins tore that ACL. So, for him to keep AOC in that game for that long, we should have put in Jimmy G there. You saw Jimmy G. He was ready every single play. They kept on panning over to him. He was ready. He was holding his neck like he always does on the sideline. He was about to get his helmet. He was about to go in and put himself in the game. Yeah. That was a terrible game. Yeah, that was probably the worst game I saw from AOC and AP.
Okay. What about you, Nate? We got it. That is the one game that I think for me sticks out as this could be a reason why you don't go with Antonio Pierce. Is because of that Vikings and Raiders game. Because terrible game. They lost 3-0 in that game. So Nate, give us your thoughts, man. Like about that game. Was Antonio Pierce outcoached that game, and should he have put in Jimmy G?
Yeah, like when you're talking about a better team losing, it's clearly the coach. Like, totally agree about what Christian said. Like, the coach kind of led his team to the ways that they were supposed to like go about it. Like, they were chowing down on AOC. Like, that defense is stout, and that's where like, all right, so we got to push with this power force that we have of a defense, this baller of a defense, and just stop this guy from doing anything. And that's what we put up, nothing. But yeah, that was funny. You said Jimmy G was ready, but that boy was ready to go right out there and then walk right back out with the like, my leg.
And I like Andre Banker's point. He says in 2024 we need to score points. 17 points or 20 will be below 500, no matter who the head coach is. And let's be honest, that's the thing. We got to give Antonio Pierce that, though. This offense has been horrible before Antonio Pierce. And they put the blame on Mick Lombardi. They put the blame on Josh McDaniels, rightfully so. And then they gave it to a quarterback coach who was a rookie offensive coordinator. Super Omicron says, hiring an Antonio Pierce after Titans firing a playoff coach. If Pierce was undefeated in the season in the wild card, okay then. Even then, it's too small of a sample size to go based off of. But I got to say that here's the reason why that Chiefs win is important, though. I want to ask you guys, do you guys know how many times the Raiders has beaten the Chiefs in Arrowhead the past 12 years?
No.
What about you, Nate?
You said how many times has
the Raiders beaten the Chiefs in Arrowhead the past 12 years?
12 years. If you do that math, you go 2010, right?
Yeah.
Or am I
No,
tripping?
Think
no,
about Jamarcus Russell.
yeah. And even think about Jamarcus Russell.
Yo, we beat them like over 500 times.
Huh?
I wish it was
Yeah.
like that. And I'm gonna actually catch up, but
That's it.
it was
We're
3 times.
undefeated against them.
That was the third time. AP's victory over the Chiefs was the third time the Raiders have beaten the Chiefs in Arrowhead since 2010. Or actually, no, that's the fifth time. But since Mahomes taking over, that's the second time. We beat Mahomes in Arrowhead twice already, but AP didn't let Mahomes. The difference why that game is much more meaning is because Mahomes couldn't be Mahomes in that game. The Raiders did something that I never thought I'd see the Raiders do, and you didn't let Mahomes beat you. And we said it. Me and Nate previewing that game said you need to let Mahomes try to beat you. You can't let Isaiah Pacheco take off. You can't let Rashee Rice take off. You got to let Mahomes beat you. Antonio Pierce did that, and Mahomes couldn't beat us. Like that speaks a lot. And to Nate's point, let's go on let's not just bring up the Chiefs. Let's bring up the division record. He's 3-1 in the division. Last time I checked, getting to the playoffs, you beat your division first. And that's how you get to the postseason. He's 3-1. He beat the Chiefs, he beat the Broncos and the Chargers. First time playing the Broncos and playing the Chargers, he dominated them too. Better than Josh McDaniels did. Josh McDaniels beat the Broncos 17-16 week 1. Then he lost to the Chargers and an injured Justin Herbert during the game. AP went out there, given that the Chargers were already a dumpster fire going into that game, but he did exactly what any coach and any, like you said, Christian, any better team would do. You stop and blow out what's across from you. If you're a better team than what's across from you, you prove that by the scoreboard. And we knew the Raiders were a better team than the Chargers going into that Thursday night game. And by far they proved it in that game. And even against Denver too. We were the better team. And again, the final score showed that. Against the Chiefs, let's be honest, we were not the better team. But the scoreboard showed in that game and that day, the Raiders were the better team. And they owned the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah. The Raiders
give Antonio Pierce an offensive coordinator who knows the X's and O's, and give him a true quarterback that can score over 20 plus points a game. You have yourself a playoff caliber team.
Mm-hmm.
What about go ahead, and Christian? What were you gonna say?
So going back to what you were talking about with that Chiefs, yeah, we outcoached the Chiefs a lot. That Chiefs locker room has been on fire this past year because Kadarius Toney can't catch a football. Neither can Valdez-Scantling. Sky Moore's hit and miss. They have no wide receivers out there. Patrick Mahomes is just going into work on the fly every day, not knowing who he's throwing to, unless he has Travis Kelce out on the field. So their offense has been on fire all year. It showed. It showed in that game for sure. And our defense really stepped up. And not trying to put down Patrick Mahomes or anything, but because he was the only reason why that team was successful this year. And we all know that.
Again, why a great quarterback kind of is important.
Yeah. And we really outcoached their team, and we were not expected to win that game. So AP really put himself on the map, especially on that game right there.
Yeah, and I like Super bringing this up. Let's talk about the general manager. What do you got? How do you guys feel about Champ Kelly?
I love Champ Kelly.
He's just that guy. He's just that guy.
I'm gonna sum it up. I like Champ Kelly.
He's a pretty good guy.
I believe if you bring AP back, you're bringing Champ Kelly back.
I mean, he's champ, bro.
Again, I know a lot of people want Ed Dobbs over Champ Kelly, and like I said, I would not be against bringing in either one for the general manager. But the fact that Antonio Pierce, let's not even talk about the wins or even the losses. Let's talk about what they did. Champ Kelly, after seeing Marcus Peters half-assing on one tackle, AP benched him, and Champ Kelly cut him the next day. And we've seen that all season. Let's be honest. Marcus
I bet.
Peters was half-assing on tackles all season long. Champ Kelly, after AP benched him, Champ Kelly was like, "You're out of here. Bring in Jack Jones." And Jack Jones was what Marcus Peters should have been ever since. But let's bringing in Malcolm Kuntz. And I know he was already on the team. I'm not saying bringing him in like we signed him off waivers or anything, but giving him a shot. Giving Malcolm Kuntz a shot. Can we not give kudos to AP on that? Can we not give kudos to Champ Kelly on bringing in a Jack Jones?
Jackie Jones.
So, I mean, how you guys feel about the GM position?
Champ Kelly did a lot for us. He made some great moves with what he was left with. Not putting down Ziegler. I feel like Ziegler was a great GM. He just let Josh McDaniels control him.
Yes.
And it was more like Josh McDaniels bringing Ziegler over and not Ziegler bringing Josh McDaniels over. And that's what we all knew from the beginning. So, but Champ Kelly, I really would love to keep him. But like you said, if we do go that Ed Dodge route, look at the picks that we get for Champ Kelly if he goes to another team. We get those 3 third-round picks, I think, right?
I think it's 2-3, 2/3. We get 2/3, I think.
Yeah, that would be great for our upcoming draft to improve our team. But I feel like Champ Kelly can go out there and sign some guys, and we may not even need those picks. So,
yeah, and I like that route. And Super has a point here. Resume is on grass, as AP pointed out. Harbaugh, 3 NFC Championship appearances. Not to destroy your comment, but those were, again, appearances, losses. 1 Super Bowl appearances, again, a loss, and a 1 national title. Change the culture with SF, Michigan. Davis already is going to GM first round. Now he is right on this. He did win that 1 national title. He broke the curse of Jim Harbaugh can't win the big game. And he did. He changed the culture with SF, but from what I was hearing towards the end of his SF career, those players, that locker room, they sold on Jim Harbaugh. And also let's not forget. Do people forget the Niners were, I think, 7-4 going into a 1-11 or 1-12 Raiders team, and Jim Harbaugh lost to that team. I remember. The thing is, I take those into account, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying okay that makes AP a better coach. I don't, because AP lost to a Vikings team that had 2 backup quarterbacks going, and he was clearly outcoached. But what I'm saying is, which either route we go, it's a bunch of ifs, because this comment is not guaranteed for the Raiders. It's not guaranteed that Harbaugh comes in and we automatically go to the AFC Championship. We go to the Super Bowl. The same is to say about Antonio Pierce. Just because we want Antonio Pierce, we're not saying, hey, that's going to guarantee us an AFC Championship appearance, a Super Bowl appearance. We might make wild card. I'll say the same with Jim Harbaugh. We might make wild card. We have a high chance making the playoffs with Jim Harbaugh. But there's also that chance that, hey, Jim Harbaugh can shit the bed. Same goes for Antonio Pierce. Antonio Pierce can shit the bed. But I would say this. We've always gone the route, go get a big name. Go get a guy with a resume like this. We've always went down that route. And has it worked in the Raiders' favor? It has not. So let's stop going in a continuous wheel, continuous rotating door, and let's try something different. Let's give AP a shot. And people want to talk about resume and how AP doesn't really have that resume. Mike Tomlin didn't, and he's one of the most winningest coaches in Steelers history. In fact, never having a losing season. And I think, 13 seasons he's been with the Steelers? 13 seasons, never had a losing season with the Steelers. And guess what? He wasn't a head coach. He didn't have no head coaching experience prior. John Madden. I get it. I hear you, Super. Different era. But the thing is, if we're talking about experience and we're talking about resume, yeah, we could bring John Madden in. Was it a different era? It was. But during that time, would people have been against it? If it was like now where we had social media and all that, it's like they're hiring John Madden. Madden doesn't have no experience.
Mm-hmm.
but what I'm saying is, I want to take resume out because Jim Harbaugh hasn't won with the Raiders as a head coach. AP has. AP is 5-4 as the head coach with the Raiders. And that's where I give the yes to AP. But again, not against bringing in Jim Harbaugh. It's just to Sean's question earlier, if AP never happened, Jim Harbaugh would be my number one go-to guy. But the fact that the season happened the way it happened with Antonio Pierce, and it's not about his swag, it's not about anything, it's that you can see that this team is different with him as the head coach. 3-1 in the division, 4-2 overall. I don't think I can remember the last time we ever dominated our division like that. I can't remember the last time. To Nate's point, it's about winning the division. My fear is Jim Harbaugh comes and we start getting back to the road of being owned by the Kansas City Chiefs. Because let's be honest, who can say they outcoached Andy Reid? Antonio Pierce can say that. He split with Andy Reid. Was he outcoached in the first game? He was. Did he learn from his mistakes? Obviously he did, because he beat him the second time in his own place. I don't know about you, but I had a happy Christmas.
Bro, that was a nice day. I ain't gonna lie.
And the thing is, Super, can we haven't even gave AP that chance. We haven't gave Champ Kelly that chance to draft up. Champ Kelly wanted CJ Stroud, you guys. I know people were talking about Ziegler wanting to make the trade. Ziegler wanted CJ Stroud because of Champ Kelly. Think about that. Ziegler wanted CJ Stroud because of Champ Kelly. Champ Kelly was banging on the table for CJ Stroud and was banging for Ziegler, make it happen. But of course, like you said, Ziegler, his problem was he was being owned by McDaniels. So he said no. So I'm willing, knowing that Champ Kelly was right about CJ Stroud, I'm willing to give Champ, and like you said, Christian, the moves that he made, getting rid of Marcus Peters, going to get a Jack Jones, I'm willing to give these guys a shot. And to my point earlier, if they shit the bed, on to the next one. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, see, we should have had Jim Harbaugh. We should have had Ed Dobbs. I'm telling you, let's revisit this conversation on whoever we have. Because if it's Ed Dobbs and Jim Harbaugh, I'm expecting the same. I'm expecting playoff. Mm-hmm. And if Jim Harbaugh and Ed Dobbs don't get us there, they're going to get the same treatment if it was Champ Kelly or AP. I'm going to keep it real.
Yeah, because I hate when people are like, well, like when something doesn't go wrong, I hate when people are like, well, you should have did that, or I told you so. Well, like, I'm sorry, like life goes on. We can't go backwards. Like I chose one, not the other. I'm like, shoot. Like I was hoping.
I hear you, Super. In what, 9 games? I hear them. But look at the opponents that we played in those 9 games. We played the Giants and the Jets, who I agree, terrible teams. You should have beat those teams. Those were, I want to say givable wins, but they won those games. They had to win those games. That Dolphins game, you guys, I know we lost that game, but I didn't expect. I'm not happy about the loss, but I didn't expect to lose like that. I expected, like, damn, we about to get cooked today. Because let's be honest, were we the better team? Let's go to that point, Christian. Were we the better team?
No.
Nate, were we the better team?
Against who? Miami?
Yeah, against Miami. Were we the better team?
Oh, heck no. I just got whooped in Madden. Bro, they have 99 overall Tyreek Hill. They have 99 overall Tyreek Hill. Something like 88 overall Tua. 91 overall freaking Jalen Waddle. A 95 overall freaking Xavier Howard. I don't know why he's still 95 overall, but I guess they're overrating his Madden. He's not even like that. Just because he got a bunch of interceptions that one year doesn't mean he gets to deserve it. 95 overall the following year. Like, it don't make sense. But yeah, they are pretty good.
Bro, Nick got me, bro. That's stupid. But the thing is, I didn't expect us to lose 20-13. Like, basically, it still be a game. You know, towards the end. I was like, damn, like, we actually making this a game. Like, okay, like, AP, you might be on to something, mate. Like I said, that was the game where I was like, give AP a OC and a quarterback and see what AP can do. See what he can do because he has that defense. Him and Patrick Graham, that tandem working on that defense is doing wonders. It did wonders. Imagine if you can have a true offensive coordinator at the brains of in the helm at the offense, and you have a quarterback who knows what the hell he's doing and knows when it's time to run. Because let's be honest, you're not even the most perfect offensive line. We had it, and it got Derek Carr hurt. We had the most perfect offensive line. Now, that's a debate. Should he have been in the game? That is another debate. The point is, your perfect elite offensive line isn't going to be perfect and elite every single week. There's going to be moments you have to escape the pocket to win a football game. There's going to be moments where your quarterback is going to have – there's a reason why quarterbacks are getting paid $50+ million. Why? Because at the end of the day, the ones that win Super Bowls are the ones that put the team on their back. That's what I'm saying. That's why we need a quarterback like that. Give AP that quarterback that will put the team on his back and is like, I'm going to go win this football game for y'all. Thrill says, any era when you know how to lead men and surround yourself with good coordinators, you can be successful. I agree. Raider Scorpio, I got to catch up in the chat, bro. I'm so far behind.
Bro, you are like
Raider
2 hours behind.
I know, bro. I'm way behind. Raider Scorpio. Raider Scorpio says, do you think the Chargers might want to hear what's out there for Chargers quarterback Herbert? They got the 5th pick. Who knows behind curtains? Would you call the Chargers? You guys are not gonna like this. I like Justin Herbert, and we may debate on it. I like Justin Herbert. And the reason why I like Justin Herbert is because I seen a stat, and this was posted by the Chargers. This was posted by a Chargers group. Why did I get it? I have no idea, but I got it on Instagram. And it was, I think it was NFL on CBS. It wasn't even a Chargers thing. I think it was NFL on CBS. But it was basically that in the time that now people want to talk about Derek Carr having a terrible defense. Let me put it in perspective how bad the Chargers defense was, and they shouldn't even be terrible. That's what I'm saying. But listen to this, Christian. Listen to this. In the amount of starts that Herbert has started for the Chargers, the points that he's gotten for the offense is the same amount of points that the defense has given up.
Yeah,
since Herbert has gotten drafted.
Literally, it feels like every time they lose or every time they win, it's a 1-point game, 2-point game, 3-point game, and it's always
and it's a shootout.
Yeah, and it's always 31,
like
33,
45, and it's like that's a quarterback with a terrible defense. Now to Christian, how?
And I'm like, no wonder they have.
You guys got Joey Bosa.
I mean, no wonder they don't have.
Derwin James, Khalil Mack. Like, how is your defense terrible? So
yeah,
I wouldn't. I know a lot of people being like, I'll take a flyer on Herbert. But the thing is, I would say this. Would I take a flyer now? Maybe then I would have before contract signing. But now that he signed that big contract, I'm not taking on that contract. Then before contract Herbert, I would have. But now,
that boy thought he was
just because of his contract, Raider Scorpio. Because of that contract, I'm not taking on that contract. If I'm taking on that contract, I'm drafting a quarterback. Let me see. Salute to Raider Nation. Jason, he says, salute guys and to the nation. To Van City's point, Tom Brady, Sean McVay, Sean McDermott, Bill Belichick, Michael Strahan, JJ Watt, everyone has to start somewhere. Point is, everyone started somewhere. And do you guys think that AP, that's all he needs? He needs a shot. Could he take the Raiders to the playoffs? Again, maybe. But you won't know because you know what sucks? Jim Harbaugh comes here. When we lose, AP goes to the Titans, takes the Titans to the playoffs.
Oh, heck no.
Mainly because that's a crappy division, let's be honest. Crappy. I mean, unless the Jaguars somehow get better, the Colts figure it out, which I think the Colts will be better with Anthony Richardson. I think Anthony Richardson can really be a good center quarterback. He was balling before he got injured. But I don't want that. I don't want us to be like having these what ifs. I know, and you know what, you guys, it's gonna happen. We're gonna have those what ifs. no matter what.
Yeah.
Everyone kept bringing up so-and-so's name that plays for the Saints now on what if he was still here? People are gonna play the what if game, no matter what. But we're here to give our opinion, and our opinion is give AP a shot. People won't agree with it, but it's all right. But Christian, you want to address the elephant in the room in regards to head coaches?
All right, so we're talking about Jim Harbaugh and AP.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about the one rumor that kind of surprised me. His name's John Gruden.
John.
Real quick, I want to salute the chat real
bro.
quick. Raider Nation Jason, the Chicago game was McDaniels, not AP. Minnesota was, and we talked about it. We said terrible, terrible. Salute to AJ for pulling up. He said in today's NFL, mobility is key. We agreed on that. Salute to Crazy Raider fan. He said AP beat only one team with the winning record. That's KC. Think about that. Hey, in the NFL, you beat the teams that is in front of you, and he beat the teams that was in front of him, whether winning record or not. He beat the teams out because we dealt with this as Raider fans, where we lost the teams that we should have beat.
Hey, bro, like if we cannot like then we should keep the same thing with the Niners. Dang it! Like they all face terrible teams, dog. Like what
Yeah.
is this?
Keep the energy with other teams. Then if we're going down that road,
Like it's all the same. Like
let me see. I want to see if there's anybody. Guys, I'm sorry if I'm skipping over your comments. I see some great ones. Salute to everybody in the chat. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like, hit that bell if you guys haven't already. Man, I was way behind. I'm so sorry, you guys. My apologies.
When people are
Let me get into the recents. Raider Nation Jason says, I'm for AP and Kelly. Want to let them get 3 years at it. Beats 2 years of McDaniels. It does. Let's see. Thrill says, how many rookie head coaches have a winning record their first year? Not a lot of coaches. Actually, no. There's been a few coaches, not off the top of my head, but I know there was a few coaches, but the list isn't long, to your point, Thrill. He said, put me down for AP and champ when we discuss this next year. Sean says, I just find it hard that Jim Harbaugh would fail after turning San Diego around, winning records, went to Stanford around, winning records, 44-16 with the 49ers and 88-24 with Michigan and an NCAA title. Sean, it is hard to believe, but we've said that too. We said the thing is the narrative that we have with Jim Harbaugh, we said that in the past, that it's hard to believe that the Raiders can't make the playoffs because of who they brought in. And that's the thing. It's a continuous wheel. I don't want to be let down again. And I think JJ Watt said it best. Someone said it, that I'd rather be let down by Antonio Pierce and Champ Kelly rather than be let down by Jim Harbaugh and Ed Dobbs.
How about this? When this is a question to y'all. What can you guys name some players that have popped out of nowhere that has been doing very well since Antonio Pierce became coach?
I'll name one: Malcolm Kuntz,
Jack Jones,
Zeus, like
Trayvon Merritt. Bro, I was calling him number 25 at the beginning of the year.
Bro, like
I was like, bro.
You don't know Trayvon Moore?
The beginning of the year, bro. Trayvon Mulrick or Merrick, I don't care how do you say it, bro. I was calling that boy number 25 because I was like getting tired of him at the beginning of the year. But go ahead, Chippy.
Somebody that really stepped up, even though they were actually looking pretty good too, was Marcus Epps.
Yeah,
he looked good.
I know, and this guy's been getting a lot of buzz, but Tyree Wilson, when they moved him on to the inside. I said it at the beginning of the year. Maybe because of his measurables, move Wilson to the inside. Maybe he'll do better there. And have Malcolm Kuntz take over as the edge. They finally did it, and look, it did wonders for us.
How about when he's playing? I'd say, Josh Jacobs? I don't know. When he's playing under AP?
I can't even say Josh. I'm sorry.
Compared to Josh McDaniels.
I'm sorry.
We barely saw AP.
I can't say JJ
Jacobs.
because the thing is, JJ was still dancing around in the backfield when he didn't need to.
No, he's Amir White.
He did better. I already said Zeus, but
bro,
he did better.
The thing is, Nate, Zamir White was playing with the same exact offensive line that JJ was playing with, tell me how Zamir White is playing better than Josh Jacobs.
Oh, because Zeus is Zeus, and he has like lightning bolts.
Shut up, bro. You stupid.
JJ don't got lightning bolts, bro.
And I know I beat it up him earlier, but I'll even say Aiden. Like I'm
Thinking of
saying,
others.
like
Aiden didn't
like I
even play
said, but
during
he
Josh
played up
McDaniels.
to his ceiling. He played up to his ceiling, which was average quarterback play. Like he didn't. It's not like he played 4 touchdowns every game.
Shoot.
He played
Hold
up
on.
to his ceiling, and AP
We
brought
forgot.
that out of him. Now, can he
But
bring the
we
best?
forgot.
Maybe.
We forgot about the biggest factor and probably the biggest one that's showing up. How about Raider Nation, bro? Like Raider
Hey,
Nation, bro.
Allegiant turned into a home field advantage.
Heck yeah, fool. Like, woo. We coming in every single home game for like I'm seeing that. Like I'm seeing banners over the over the edge. People like going crazy. AP, like that's crazy, though. That's
Yeah, I mean, the thing is,
before
Jim
that.
Harbaugh or AP, bring him any, and I'm supporting it. I'm supporting it until I get a reason why I shouldn't support it. With McDaniels, I said that with the same thing. McDaniels, I'm supporting it too. I shouldn't support it anymore. This past season, I was done with it. I'm like, bro, you had 1 year and you literally dismantled, not even dismantled. I don't know what the hell you did. It was just you and your presence alone just destroyed the Raiders, apparently. And I'm not saying the same thing's going to happen with Jim. I'm not, but I guess I'm just tired of constant head coaching change after head coaching change and expecting, because of some guy's resume, expecting Raiders are going to just turn it around. I'm not, and I just want to give Antonio Pierce a shot because JJ also said this. I'm coming back on a team-friendly deal 100% if Antonio Pierce is here. Devontae Adams. I'm 100%. Yeah, I don't speak for the locker room, but he's my guy. I pick him. I choose him to be the leader in 2024. He's like, I know that the locker room likes him.
Cigars have shown up too.
Oh, and I did, Thrill. I mean, we did. He said, wish you guys would have experienced Oakland home games. Everybody I ever took to our tailgate and games said the same thing. Wow, that was an experience. Yeah. It
First game.
Bro, movie. Like
Right.
our boy Graphic Raider always says, movie. Every single time. It didn't matter if we sucked. It didn't matter like we were 0-10. Movie, bro.
Yep.
Movie.
My first game. I went on Christmas. It was I think we were playing the Broncos. It was a rival game and it was raining, dumping. It was like
this isn't
right
always
after
true.
Christmas.
Super. I'm telling you that right now. This isn't always true. If you've been to those trash Oakland Raiders teams, tailgate was always popping. It didn't matter.
Even when you lost, yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, before the game and after the game, shoot. I even
You'd
after.
be there like 3 hours after the game.
Was it? Super or Thrill says, was it the FAB game?
Here, let me check.
No, was it the 2018 game? Because I know it was dumping, pouring rain in that 2018 game.
Yes, I think it was a 2018 game against the Broncos.
Yeah, that Monday night when Dwayne Harris took it like 99 yards on a punt return or a touchdown.
I'm trying to remember. Let me look at the Raiders schedule.
Y'all suck in your memory when it comes to the Raiders. My first Raider game was we got our asses whipped 28-0 by the Kansas City Chiefs. My first win that I experienced was Derek Carr's rookie year. Buffalo Bills. We played the Buffalo Bills. And we were already having talks about moving during that year. And it was like I said it like because we were having talks about moving. It was rumors, and I was like saying in the parking lot, this fan base, this Oakland fan base, and they want to move to Vegas. How? We were what 2-13 at that point, I think, or not two. We were 2-12 at that point, and that stadium was rocking.
They were partying like they were,
rocking like
undefeated.
You would think the Raiders are 12-2 the way the Oakland Coliseum was rocking. But the thing is, that's when I'm like, people who have this expectation on what Allegiant, like, oh man, Allegiant, like, it is true when we say Allegiant will never be Oakland. It won't. It will never be Oakland. And I appreciate that there's fans that are trying to bring that Oakland mentality to Vegas. And I hope I'm wrong about it. Hope I'm wrong about it. But the thing is that what I experienced in Oakland since I was a kid to compare to what I experienced in Vegas, two different things.
That's why I'm like, well, they're starting to get. They went, it's an improvement. It's all
Yeah,
right.
I agree. Super. Oakland didn't help either. I agree. Oakland didn't help, but the thing is, Mark Davis told us that the Raider fans will follow, and yada yada yada, and all this. He wanted Oakland to pay for it, which I had no problem with. But then I had a problem with you went to Vegas and you're paying for Allegiant Stadium. You're not having Vegas pay for it. Maybe Vegas is paying a little bit, but when I seen the report, he's paying it. He paid for Allegiant Stadium. So that's where I guess I felt like, okay, damn, like you couldn't pay for a stadium in Oakland. You said Raider fans were gonna follow. Problem is this is where you're right, Super. You gotta have wins, not to match the experience of tailgating. We're talking about Vegas, yes. To match the experience of tailgating, you gotta have wins in Vegas. If that's what you meant, I agree on that. Because Vegas won't be popping if you ain't winning. Because I said this numerous times. I'm not spending $2,500 to go watch a 2-12 team. I'm not. Yeah. That's a waste. If I'm gonna have a great time in Vegas, but I know the Raiders ain't one of them, they're not gonna give me a great time. I'm gonna go spend that $2,500. And people can call me a fake fan all you want. You can call me a fake fan all you want. I work hard for my money. Okay, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna support from afar. It's like, hey, it's like that friend that kind of did you wrong, but you kind of still want to support them. You're not associate, but you're like, I love you from afar. Nate knows that. I'm gonna love you from afar. I'm gonna be like that with the Raiders. You want to get my hopes up, but then just shit on them. I'm gonna love you from afar. Give me a reason to go have a great time in Vegas. To go spend $2,500 to not sit at field level, but to chill with other fans. Because last time I went to Allegiant Stadium, me, my dad, and our Patriot Primo, bro, me and my dad were outnumbered in the nosebleed seats. We were in a section full of Patriot fans. It was literally, you could pick me and my dad out of the crowd. We were surrounded, and I didn't blame Raider fans. Why? Because the Raiders sucked that year. With so many high expectations to have the season we were having, more opponents are going to take over that stadium if we're not winning. And I agree, Super. And that's why I say, Super, whether it's Jim Harbaugh, whether it's Antonio Pierce, whether it's Mike Vrabel, Ed Dobbs, Champ Kelly, whoever we're bringing in as front office, you better have wins. You better have wins. And I'll say this, if Jim Harbaugh comes, I'm holding him probably to a higher degree than Antonio Pierce.
Oh yeah.
Because and I know people's like, well, that's unfair. No, it's not unfair because of the resume, right? It's the resume that Jim Harbaugh brings. But I still will hold AP like playoffs or nothing because you were 5-4 last season with nothing. So that's where I'm getting at. Let's go on to let me get it some more. You wanted to talk about John Gruden, Christian. I'm sorry we kind of went on a kind of a sputter. But John Gruden, give me your thoughts on. There was John Gruden rumors. For those of you that don't know, there is John Gruden rumors that potentially Mark Davis is thinking about bringing John Gruden back. Christian, what is your thoughts on that?
I don't find that to be a very good idea. for the sport in general, for the sport of football.
Okay.
We should not bring back John Gruden. I feel like I loved him as a coach, but he couldn't do much for us anyway, even without all that controversy. And now the whole NFL hates him, so I don't think a team wants to pay that much for somebody that's that controversial. And even bringing him up, I just started laughing when I saw it. I'm like, why would you even do that? Why would you do that to a team that has so much potential?
Yeah.
Literally. Wasn't bro in court today?
Huh? Yeah, he
Was
was. He was. I think the
Yeah,
court
come over here, guy.
the court favored in Goodell's favor, I think. I think that's what came out. I could be wrong. I didn't go into it because not football related. Like it's that's old news with John Gruden, and I feel bad with Gruden. That's the thing. I feel bad for Gruden in the sense because the NFL did do him dirty because it wasn't about him. It was about the Washington Commanders at the time, and I feel bad that he got done dirty. But to Thrill's point, homeboy could not draft.
Bro cannot draft. Like
homeboy cannot draft, and people can say, "Well, he had the Raiders on." He was 3-2. I have to remember that he was 3-2. He lost against the Chargers and he lost against the Bears.
Jonathan Abram.
Drafted Jonathan Abram, drafted Cleveland
Damon Arnett.
Like it was bust after bust after bust after
Alex,
bust.
high stakes, Leatherwood.
Bro, people want to talk about Raiders can't draft. No, Gruden couldn't draft.
Henry Ruggs.
Man, Henry Ruggs is a question mark. I can't call
Henry Ruggs was fine.
He was good.
I can't call Henry Ruggs a bust because Henry Ruggs was like he was about to become one of the most. He was going to be our Tyreek Hill before he made that stupid mistake. So yeah, I can't even say Henry Ruggs was really a bust. That boy just made a dumb decision.
That's a whole nother conversation, though.
Yeah, but we talking about like Alex Leatherwood, Jonathan Abram, Cleveland Farrell. Like his first round picking was horrible. Let me see. Well, because like I said, there's another. We're not ending it here, you guys, because we got so much to talk about. Let's talk about someone that Nate tells me I need to get off his sack. Pause if necessary. Josh Jacobs. Let's talk about Josh, and this is where we got to debate because Nate wants to bring Josh Jacobs back. I said you bring Jacobs back on a cheap deal. You bring Jacobs on a 13, 14 million deal. I don't know what you've been smoking. I don't know what Chandler Jones gave you, Mark Davis, or whoever the GM is, but I got you, Chester. So, yeah, we're gonna end it here soon. But I want to bring up Josh Jacobs because let's talk. This is the last thing we're gonna talk about, and we got to save another live, all three of us, because we are going on for a while, almost 2 hours. We're gonna have to do another live show.
Malcolm Kuntz.
Talk about the positions.
Malcolm Kuntz.
Yeah, you guys bringing back Josh Jacobs?
The last opinion that I had, my guy, was like 2 games ago, bro.
Okay, then what's your opinion now?
I told you if he didn't play. I told you the fact that we were pushing for a couple playoff spots. Like I said, 2 weeks ago is when we were in playoff contention, and he didn't play. I said you have no business here.
Especially the way Zamir was playing too. I think
Zamir.
that like solidified it where it was like, okay, I think we would be in good hands without JJ. But I do agree with Throw here. He says, I think JJ will sign a cheap deal to stay. He loves it here. He loves AP and Champ and has a Raider tattoo. The Raider tattoo doesn't mean crap to me, Throw, because can't get rid of a tattoo. And him would be a dynamic backfield, but his asking price has to be right. What about you, Tipster? You bringing back JJ?
100%. I love Josh Jacobs. I feel like he can show way more flashes. He didn't even really get to prove himself with AP. So, like you said, if AP comes back, he's willing to take a huge pay cut, which would be great for us. And that shows that he's a team player. That the team's not built around him, and he'll just take what he needs to be able to be in the best situation for him and for our team. So, I respect him for that too.
Yeah, I respect him too for that, and that just shows that for me, it shows 2 things: Josh Jacobs, I think, as a person, as a team player, but also how that should show how much AP means to the locker room. I mean, I know that's just one guy, but we've heard it from, like I said, Devontae, Max, Jack, Jones.
Everyone loves it.
We've heard it from almost the entire locker room. How much AP means to that locker room. So, I mean, we'll see, you guys. We'll keep bringing this conversation up, you guys. So like I said, we're going on almost 2 hours. I know my boys, my boy Chipster got, school. Nate got work. I got work. We're gonna have to do another live show, you guys. Just let me know, Nate. Let me know, Chipster, when y'all are free, because we got to do another live show. Like, there was so much info to really talk about. Love that y'all came into the chat. Shout out to Thrill. Shout out to Super Omicron for pulling up. Salute to Sean Johnson for not just pulling up, but also we didn't, Sean. But like I said, we gotta do another live show because there's so much info that came out today. So much info.
We're not even halfway done with what we want to talk about.
For real, we're not even halfway done. So guys, hit that subscribe button, hit that like, hit that bell, so you guys can be caught up on everything Raiders Primos. We're gonna keep the conversation going, and don't be afraid. I know if you guys were in the chat, don't be afraid to comment down too. Keep the conversation going, and share this with your friends, share this with your family. Let's keep this conversation going. And again, I want to salute to everyone. Salute to Raider Nation Jason. Salute to Van City for pulling up. Salute to AJ. Salute to Crazy Raider Fan.
Super Thrill.
Salute to Raider Scorpio. Bro, salute to Andre Baker. Salute to everyone for pulling up. Even if you didn't comment, just pulling up and pulling love to the channel. Like I said, you guys, hit that subscribe button, hit that like, hit that bell on the way out. And then on the way out, salute to Juan I don't know how to say the last name. Paredes.
Juan, bro.
Oh, Paredes. Okay. Hello. Mark got help in the financing from Jones and Company because the league wanted to tap the so-called untapped market. Hey, salute to you, man. And we got to end the show the way AP wanted us to go out.
Malcolm Coots.
So, on a count of three,
stop talking about him.
Not that. We got to do the Raiders. We got to do the Raiders. We got to do the Raiders chant. We got to do that. On the count of three, I got to hear you guys say it loud and proud if you can. I think Nate got to stay quiet.
So do I.
It's late, but I'm going to say it loud and proud. On the count of three. One. Everyone in the chat, type it in. 1, 2, 3. Raiders!
We got Jimmy G.